What happens when a simple misunderstanding turns into a courtroom showdown? In this case, a man faces 6 months in jail over a moment that may not even be a crime, and the judge quickly realizes something in the police report doesn't add up. Watch closely, because what happens next will leave everyone in the courtroom surprised.
Sir, you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir.
Yes, sir.
On March 28, 2025, an officer was in the process of serving a capital murder warrant on a suspect in Harris County, Texas. While conducting a felony stop, the defendant, who was identified by his Texas ID card, pulled up on the officer's perimeter, got out of their motor vehicle, and began walking to the residence where the murder suspect was. The officer's supervisor ordered the defendant to stop and stay right there. The defendant refused and continued to ignore officers while walking towards the residence. The officer's supervisor ordered the defendant to step back multiple times, and then grabbed the defendant and took him to the ground.
Him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was he the capital murder suspect?
No, Your Honor.
I live there.
Stop. Oh, sorry.
I believe that they were in the process of serving a warrant on someone else at the residence, and that's when they came in contact with the defendant. Ordered him to stop. He refused to just stop coming towards the residence. Your Honor.
Served the warrant. What ended up happening?
Looks like after refusing commands, there was a brief struggle where he was detained.
Was the murder suspect there?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. It does not say. I have no further facts that show if the warrant was complete on the warrant or not, Your Honor, or completed at the time. I just believe they were in the process and we need to be at the residence and let's win this incident.
Read it again, if you don't mind.
Yes, Your Honor. On March 28, 2025, the law enforcement officer in Squad 5 of the Houston Police Department's Gang Division served a capital murder warrant for a suspect observed inside a truck at a nearby residence. While conducting a felony stop, the defendant, who is identified by his Texas ID card, pulled up on the perimeter, got out of the vehicle, walked to the sidewalk, and began walking to the residence where the murder suspect was. The supervisor then ordered the defendant to stop and to stay right there. The defendant refused and continued ignoring officers and walking towards the residence. The supervisor ordered him to step back multiple times, but the defendant once again ignored the officers. The law enforcement officer grabbed the defendant and made him bounce to the ground.
Okay, so now, but when you first started, you said they were going to a capital murder suspect in a car.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what. So I was originally reading the summary. I'm going straight from the Dems now, Your Honor. It looks like the suspect was observed inside a truck at a nearby residence.
So the suspect is not even in the residence. No.
Then they later state that there was that the suspect, that the defendant here was walking towards the residence where the murder suspect was. I'm not sure, Your Honor.
I find no probable cause in your case. Just be careful, man.
Sir.
When you get into a pissing match with
I understand.
who's going to win?
They are. I understand.
No.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hand.
All right. Did that?
Please. You are on bond for an assault in this case, and you've now picked up a new case. What happened to the violation of protective order, please?
Yes, Your Honor. On March 18th, 2025, Harris County, Texas, the officer met with the witness for a DPO call for service. The officer met with the witness when he filed with the defense and her threatening text messages and called her 21 number. Running received calls for 1 day after the 61-day protective order expired. The defendant has a no contact order in place out of 45.
You don't get it. You don't get it. I only have one thing to do. I'm sorry, I'm revoking your bond, putting you in jail. I ordered you not to do something, and you're doing whatever you want to do. Doesn't work like that. There are serious consequences. Goes with you. This is Montes.
Did you want another motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm putting a new MOA on him, and I'm going to advise him that if he violates it again, we'll have a hearing to hold him at no bond. Okay? Because the second one, I can have a hearing. I will only touch the assault case, and I'm going to put it at 5,001. He is made bond on the VPO.
He was given a PR.
They gave him a PR bond on the VPO. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to keep the PR bond on the VPO as well. Just,
Well, Judge, there were multiple orders in this case for bond conditions, and the one that ordered no contact was not labeled an order in the computer, so I didn't see it. There was another one that was no threatening or harassing, and a third one, and it was blank, and all it said was all conditions to be supervised by the department.
That means they're following the conditions in the state's motion filed on that same day.
say it again.
Oh.
That order will mean that they're supposed to be following the conditions in the state's motion that are filed on the same day as that transfer order.
Tell him ad nauseum, you know. I'll leave the VPO as is. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm putting a new protective order in today, and I'll advise him that he's not to have contact with this person. And if he does again, I'll have a hearing to hold him at no bond. Okay? So yeah, the VPO, he's made bond 2,500, and at the assault, I'm putting it at 5,001. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks. Good morning, Mr. Jordan. So you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On March 27, 2025, an officer was working a second job at Dick's Sporting Goods in Harris County, Texas, and was approached by the store manager, the witness. This advised the officer that the defendant walked into the store with another individual, and the witness advised the officer the other individual with the defendant walked out of the store without paying for any merchandise. The complaining witness stated he wanted the trespass because the defendant was seen on camera attempting to cover the individual while the individual was stealing merchandise. The officer stopped the defendant at the front entrance of the store, and the officer stated the defendant would be trespassing the store. The defendant became irate and more aggressive. The officer ordered the defendant to put his hands behind his back and placed handcuffs on the defendant's right wrist. The defendant twisted his body and tensed his muscles. The defendant, with great amount of force, threw his left arm forward and threw his left arm backwards towards the officer. The officer attempted to gain control of the defendant's left arm. The defendant began pulling away, and the officer grabbed the defendant's body with both arms and guided the defendant toward a rack where the officer was able to excuse me, Your Honor, tongue twister, where they were able to detain the defendant. The defendant was identified by his Texas driver's license.
What's he under arrest for?
I believe he was under arrest for trespass originally, Your Honor.
Oh.
You yes, Your Honor. You just have a brief moment.
Are you losing? Are you losing?
Your Honor, the only thing I have is the suspect began acting irate and clearly becoming more aggressive, and then the officer went to detain the suspect by grabbing his right wrist.
No. When you get into a pissing match where the people have the power of arrest, who's going to win every single time? You know what I mean? Every single time. Sometimes it's better to tuck your tail at times because you may end up winning in the long run. I'm going to find no probable cause in the case. Just be careful, man. I probably wouldn't go back to the sticks. This is not going to go well. You know what I mean? All right, hang tight.
If you enjoy real courtroom moments where the truth comes out in unexpected ways, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more intense, surprising, and sometimes unbelievable court cases. Hit the subscribe button now so you never miss the next shocking courtroom moment.